like that.
Anyway, we're in
Hey
together.
guys, welcome back to my channel, New Growth Naturals. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you're watching from all over the world. Welcome to another live stream. So today we're doing grandma's hair, and look how long it has gotten. Her hair is almost waist length, guys. Can you believe it? Let me fix this so you can see well what I'm doing. Let me position this camera better for you guys. There we go. A little bit out so you can see the full length of her hair. Let me fix that for you. Just a moment, guys. Just fixing this for you so you guys can see and hear me clearly. Are you guys seeing? Or are you guys hearing clearly? Hi, Merlin. Hi, Angel. Welcome to the live stream. So her hair is freshly washed, treated, and blown out. And I did a length check. I'll definitely show you that video. Once I'm done with this one, I'll definitely go ahead and edit it for you and post it as soon as I can. So you guys can see grandma hair is almost waist length. And I am here for it. I am super happy for her. I'm going to do a little bit of a different style today. Most of it is just the same. But she has an event that she's going to, and I am thinking that, you know, I should just change it up a little bit for her. This wasn't her idea. But we still want a style that will last her for a month, so that's what we're going to do, a protective style that is a little bit different from what she usually does, and that will last her for a month as well. Yes, Marilyn. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for the 7th person that gave the live stream a thumbs up so far. You guys are super duper awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys. So, a lot of person have been asking, and I am not too tired to keep sharing, what is the secret to grandma's hair growth? I never get tired of sharing. I'm going to tell you. It's really, really simple. Like, she has a very simple regimen, and this is what we basically do. So we protective style for like a month, the most 6 weeks, right? Before protective styling, she comes here, she gets her hair washed and treated. I don't give her the same treatment all the time, but based on the needs of her hair, I'll treat her hair accordingly. So whether it needs protein or moisture, or whether it needs a reconstruction, or whatever it needs, whether it needs, you know, a detox treatment, or a detox and rehydration treatment rather, whatever needs her hair have, that's what I do. I assess the hair and I give her that treatment every single visit that she does, which I tell you is usually once per month or once every 6 weeks. So I treat the hair, wash the hair, treat the hair, blow dry the hair, and put it back into a protective style. Just in case you're wondering, a lot of persons say, you know, they refrain from using the blow dryer because blow dryer is damaging to the hair. But let me tell you this, that is very good. Too much heat on the hair, in fact, will damage your hair, especially if you're not using heat protectant, and especially if you're doing it too frequently. But if you're blow drying the hair properly, using the correct methods, before you're blow drying the hair, you will definitely retain the same amount of length that you usually retain. So this is what I do. I have a video that I'm going to release of me blow drying her hair, but let me explain to you right now. Before I blow dry her hair, before I put any excess heat on any of my clients' hair, it depends on the frequency. If they blow dry their hair twice per week, because I do have clients that come to me, sorry, not twice per week, twice for the month. What am I saying? I do have clients that see me twice per month because their hair don't last as long and they're in certain jobs where they have to keep their hair a certain way. So they try to get it done every 2 weeks. And I have to wash and blow dry that hair unless I'm going to do a wet protective style like wet twist, that sort of thing. But more than likely, I'm going to wash and blow dry. I treat those clients here with protein before I put any form of heat on it. And that's just to form a barrier over the hair cuticle so it won't cause damage. Also, I don't blow the hair on high heat setting. I make sure I moisturize their hair with my shea butter recipe or my mango butter recipe, which has, you know, some amount of protection from the heat. And if I think based on their porosity that's not enough, I'll go in with my thermal heat protectant. This is what it looks like. Right, so this is the Extreme Total Care Heat Shield. This is really good. I go in with that before I blow dry the hair. Blow drying it on the lowest setting at first, keeping the hair stretched while I'm blow drying it, which is also very important. I blow dry using a comb attachment. I don't use the brush method. I use a comb attachment. But if you're going to try this, make sure the hair is thoroughly detangled before you do this. Make sure it's thoroughly detangled and moisturized and protected. And then you want to stretch the hair and you want to work your way from the ends going towards, you know, the root of the hair with the blow dryer while you're keeping the hair stretched, keeping your hands on it so you definitely can feel the amount of heat that you're putting on the hair. Once the hair is partially dry, I'll definitely up the settings of the blow dryer to make it a little bit more hotter, and I don't do that for too long, just enough to get it as straight as how I'd want it for styling. What this does, for example, clients that I'm always cornrowing their hair or braiding their hair, whatever you guys refer to it as in your country, I like to make sure the hair is properly stretched before I do that. Because if I don't, I may end up causing a lot more breakage, doing a lot more harm than good. So in a way, the blow dryer does help in length retention in terms of, you know, protective styling and doing a protective style. But what really works for grandma is that her hair is kept in a protective style for a whole month. All she does with her hair at home is moisturize it. She usually use castor oil and water. And that's just pretty much it. She sleep in her satin bonnet, in her silk scarf or whatever it is that she used to protect her hair at night. And then she comes to me, we take it down, and we repeat the process all over again. A lot of you may say, oh, I protect the style and I do all that you're saying, but my hair is not getting long. That's because you're not doing something right, guys. And usually when I do my checks, I realize it is during the takedown and detangling process that you guys mess up. Because that's the time when your hair needs all the TLC. That's the time when your hair is more susceptible to breakage. Because when you're taking down your hair, all those knots and tangles, if you're not careful, or if you just go through it with a comb after undoing the style or while undoing the style, you're gonna cause breakage. And during shampooing the hair, when the hair is really wet, the hair is at its weakest. So if you're not careful doing, you know, detangling, then you're going to be breaking off all the growth that you have gotten over time. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to the 19 person that gave the live stream a thumbs up so far. You guys are super duper awesome. Where was I? Right. So if you're damaging the hair while you're taking it down or during your shampoo days when you're detangling, then you won't be retaining the length. But keeping a simple regimen is key to hair growth and length retention. Say you have the type of hair that doesn't keep a style for an entire month and you can't find a protective style that you can actually wear for a month or 2 weeks or, you know, 2 months. It's okay if you do your hair every 2 weeks. That's fine. Or even for a week, provided that you're still protective styling and you're extremely careful with your hair while you're detangling or while you're taking down your hair. That is the most important thing. I do have clients that come to me, like I said, twice for the month just because their hair doesn't keep the style that well, and they have been retaining so much length just the same. Why? Because they don't handle their hair at all. They come to me and I do the handling for them, and I am super gentle with the hair. I noticed that my clients that come to me just to get their hair styled, or those that will just come, you know, to get it washed and styled, does not see the type of results that a client that comes to me to take down the hair, wash the hair, style the hair, would see within the same amount of time. Just because they handle their hair at home and they're not doing it correctly. That's simply it. That's just the difference. Also, when I treat my clients' hair, it strengthens the hair shaft. and it helps to, you know, prevent breakage, prevent single strand knots, help to prevent split ends and that sort of thing. So those clients that are not necessarily doing any of that, they won't be retaining so much length. So it's more than one thing, but the key is keeping a simple regimen. Keep your scalp clean, keep your hair moisturized, be gentle with your hair, eat healthy, get enough sleep, drink a lot of water, you know, that sort of thing. It's just as simple as that. And just exist. Protect your hair at night before you go to bed, no matter what. Wear your bonnet and or your satin or silk scarf to bed. If you have trouble with your edges, you know, losing your edges and stuff like that, moisturize your edges. You can use castor oil, rosemary oil, any of those hair growth stimulating oil on your scalp, on your edges every night. And after 3 months or 4 months, you definitely should see a different result over time if you're not putting, you know, tension on the hair. Hi, Brian Lynn. Hi, Sonia. So if you guys have any question, now is the time to ask. Hi Celeste. Hi Cia Regis. Hi Tineto. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Hi Abiola. Hi Jenny. Right, but if you guys are not into blow drying the hair, that's totally fine. But for myself, I don't blow dry my hair that frequently. I don't need to, and I have very good reason. And I'm going to explain it to you. My hair is heat sensitive. No matter how much low of a heat, even by me being in the sun for an extended period of time without protecting my hair with a scarf or a hat or, you know, some really good moisturizer and heat protectant, my hair breaks. It gets dry and it gets really brittle and it breaks. And it breaks easily because that's how sensitive my hair is. You'll recognize that your hair may be like that as well, and so it's best to opt not to use heat. There are other methods to stretch your hair without heat, and you can try those. Like I like to do African threading on my hair to stretch it, and I wear it as a style. Like when I thread my hair with the real African thread, it looks like the fox locks. And it's really a nice go-to style if you want to try it, you know, until the hair is stretched for you to style, you know. Also, if you have high porosity hair, I would not recommend that you be putting heat on your hair, because what that does is cause more damage and will lead to breakage definitely. For what happened with high porosity hair, the cuticle layer of the hair is pretty much open, and so it allows moisture in the strand really quickly, and the strand loses the moisture just as quickly. You definitely need a protective barrier over the strand to keep it moisturized, to keep it healthy, to keep it smooth so it doesn't tangle as much. And so I would not recommend heat, because what heat does is lift the cuticle even more and cause, you know, more dryness, more brittleness, more everything that is bad. So if you have high porosity hair, I would not suggest that you use heat on your hair at all. If you do need to stretch your hair to get a trim once per year, that's fine, but make sure you do a protein treatment before. Keep it real moisturized, and after that do a real good protective style where you don't have to manipulate the hair afterwards after stretching it. That's my recommendation. Because once you have the high porosity hair and you're consistently adding heat to it, you're not going to be retaining any length. Your hair is just going to constantly break off. I've seen it happen so many times. I can tell you, heat with high porosity hair does not go together. Now, if your hair is protein sensitive and you need to use a blow dryer often, I'd suggest that you use proteins that doesn't make your hair hard. There are a lot of new ones on the market. Before, the proteins that we're accustomed to usually make the hair so hard, and so we have to do these two-step protein treatment with moisture after protein. Now they're creating products that is protein balance. It's protein moisture balance. So when you use it, you just use one step and your hair feels nice and soft. Out up to a plant-based protein. when it comes to that, if your hair is protein sensitive, and only use protein like once every 6 weeks or once per month, not on every wash day. No matter how sensitive your hair is, when it comes to protein, your hair definitely still needs protein because your hair is made from protein. It's just a matter of choosing the correct one, and also the frequency in which you use it, and also what you do on a day when you use protein on your natural hair. So Tinetta is asking, how do you feel about putting coconut oil and vitamin K oil in the hair once a week or once every 2 weeks? So I've never used vitamin K oil on the hair before. I've never used that oil before. In fact, it's the first I'm hearing about it. But coconut oil is good for the hair, but it depends again on your porosity. If you have low porosity hair, you'll find out that coconut oil tends to make your hair hard and dry. If you have high porosity hair, your hair will love coconut oil, make it so soft, so hydrated, and your hair will just be, so nice. But when it comes to coconut oil, it's really good for the scalp, really good for the skin. If you have low porosity hair and you want to use coconut oil, you can use it by doing a pre-poo. That way you know you're definitely going to rinse it back out of the hair. Or you can just apply it to your scalp only, and you infuse your other, growth serums or oils in it and apply it to the scalp. Also, if you really want to use and get the benefits from coconut oil, if you mix it with castor oil, your hair won't be so hard as when you use it by itself. Right, so the reason why it would make your low porosity hair hard sometimes is because coconut has protein in it. And low porosity hair tends to be protein sensitive most of the time. You're welcome, Tineto. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat and you haven't yet given the live stream a thumbs up, exit the chat, give us a thumbs up, and then come back and type your question. Hi, Joe. Thanks for coming here. Hi, Patrice. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the live stream, guys. So Linda is asking, how do you know what type your hair is? Linda, are you referring to, the porosity of your hair or your hair type in general, as in texture? What are you referring to? I am assuming that you're referring to porosity since that we're discussing, but just to be clear, could you go ahead and clarify that? So you're talking about porosity, right? All right, so for porosity, there is a test that you can do at home. You want to take a clean strand of hair and you want to get, a glass of water. You want to drop that hair in it. If it floats, after a while, you know that's low porosity hair. If it's somewhere in the middle, that's normal or medium porosity. And if it's at the bottom, it tends to be high porosity. Sometimes that test is not so accurate. You want to make sure no product at all is on your hair. You want to make sure the water is at the right temperature before you do it. But for me, as a professional, I do a different test. You can try the test, but because you may not be trained to figure out what healthy strands feel like, you may find it difficult to figure it out. But what I basically do is take a strand of the hair, right? So I have a strand of the hair in my hand, and I run my finger along the hair strand. Once it's clean, there's no product on it, you'll feel how smooth the strands are going down, and you feel how rough it is, and thereby I'm able to judge whether the hair is high porosity, low porosity, or if it is normal or medium porosity. I do a strand test. Another way to determine whether your hair is high or low porosity, observe the way your hair reacts to moisture. For example, if when you go into the shower to wash your hair or any other time when you wash your hair or moisturize your hair, you realize that your hair gets moisturized super fast. Like the hair just drink up the product so fast. And then by the time you're out, walk around 2 times, you observe that your hair is also really dry. Like it gets really dry so fast. That tends to be high porosity hair because the hair shaft or the hair cuticle is, so open. It allow the moisture in the hair so quickly, and it also allow the hair to lose it really quickly just the same. However, if you try to moisturize your hair and the moisture is just sitting on the strand, it's hard getting your hair moisturized and staying moisturized, then you may have low porosity hair, because what happens with low porosity hair, the cuticle is very tightly closed together. So in order for you to truly moisturize low porosity hair, you want to make sure that you don't have any product built up on your hair. Number one, you want to make sure that you do a little bit of heat with your moisturizers, like trying the baggy effect or the greenhouse effect, where if you put on your moisturizer or doing regular deep conditioners with heat, so you put on your steam cap, sit under the dryer, or if you have a microwavable heat cap or a hot towel, whatever you choose to do, you're using heat to do your deep conditioners. And then when you add your moisturizers, you want to use your diffuser a little bit, or even a blow dryer on the lowest settings to start to heat it up to allow the moisture into the strand by opening up the cuticle, because that's what the heat does. When it comes to high porosity hair, when you moisturize your high porosity hair, you want to make sure that you use a nice thick cream or butter or thick oils, or you want to do regular protein treatments, because what protein does is actually fixate itself into the hair strands on top of the cuticle to help to seal in the moisture in your strand. Your hair will definitely love protein if you have high porosity hair. It will smooth the strands, it'll keep your hair so much more moisturized and hydrated. Also, when it comes to low porosity hair, try avoid heavy products on the hair. Use light oils, light creams. Instead of creams, go for liquid moisturizer. You want to make sure that they're water based for both porosity, whatever your porosity is, you want to make sure that your moisturizer is water based. But then when it comes to sealing, you want to go for thinner oils or lighter oils as opposed to thick butters and creams for your low porosity hair. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Even when your hair is wet, if you notice that there are little beads of water constantly on your hair, just sitting on your hair when you try to get it wet, then chances are you have low porosity hair, because that's how it reacts to liquid and water. Hi Rachel. I have a video on here with, hair porosity and all that you need to know about your porosity. You guys can definitely check my playlist or search for that video on my channel. I think it will be of help to you. Awesome, Tinetta. Any other question? If you type your question early on while I was busy over here doing grandma hair or responding to another question, could you go ahead and type it? Because it means that I did not see it. And I really want to help y'all today. We don't get to do this too often. Hi Joyce, welcome to the live stream. Thanks to the 52 person that gave the live stream a thumbs up so far. You guys are super duper awesome. That's awesome. Hi Peterson, welcome to the live stream. So guys, let me ask you this question. How is your hair growth regimen going? Even if your hair regimen is not about getting growth or getting length, rather, how is it going in terms of the health of your hair? Tell me about it. What setbacks are you guys having? What have you been doing consistently to help to aid the health of your hair? Hi, Just Jenny. Hi, Lara. Welcome, Grandma Lara. So happy that you're here. That's awesome, Nesty. All right, so guys, when you think about your hair, I know a lot of person want hair growth and length retention, but when you think about your hair, I want you to think about it not as something that you need to do to make it longer, but I want you to think about it as a lifestyle on a whole, just like eating healthy, exercising, getting enough sleep, taking care of your mental health. I want you to think of your hair that way as a necessity and not something that you're going to do for a while to achieve a certain, result, but something that you practice throughout the duration of your life to, aid your hair to have beautiful, healthy hair. Because after all, this is what God bless us with. It serves a purpose. And if we try to, work on it with the right mentality, having the correct approach, then girl, I can tell you from experience, your hair growth and the health of your hair will blow your mind and blow others that are watching around. But you have to be consistent. Like I've had this client message me and several others recently. They pay their money to get, on my treatment regimen, but they tend to be very busy, so they can't keep up with the regimen. No, for anything to work, if you're trying to lose weight, it takes consistency. Yeah, it's not about working out this week, dieting this week, and then by next week you expect to drop all the weight, or you expect a certain result by the end of the week or the end of the month. It's a consistent lifestyle, and the moment you stop doing what you should be doing, you're gonna take your time, revert right back to the old habits and the old results you're going to be reaping. Definitely, it's not gonna change because the habits that we have is actually what gave us the results that we are reaping, right? True. So it's no different with your hair growth. Once you're on a hair growth regimen or once you're on a healthy hair routine, you have to be consistent for it to work. There's no use spending all this money buying all these expensive hair products, trying out new things if you don't plan to be consistent and sticking to it. Most of the time, you don't need new products. You actually need to be decisive, you need to be disciplined, and you need to just tell yourself that this is what we're doing and we're just going to stick to it. And I promise you, over time, you will definitely see the result. I am not consistent for most of the time. There are times I am human, and there are some times when I don't want to handle my hair. But I tell myself one thing: I leave my hair in a protected style. I don't want to handle my hair. I don't want to have anything to do with the hair. If I'm not in a good mood, if I'm agitated, if I don't feel so good, I am not touching my hair. It's going to stay in that old protected style until I'm in a better space mentally before I handle it. Because your hair is like a tree. It takes years to grow to full maturity and to be a giant standing, being a shade for us and for the birds, providing food for the birds. And then just 1 hour or less, a person with a cutlass or a power saw, whatever they call those chains, would just come and fall the tree. A tree that has been growing for years. Take less than an hour to actually fall. So in other words, what I'm saying, one bad habit or one bad mistake you can make and cause you the length of your hair, the entire years of you putting in a consistent regimen to get it grow longer, to get it to be healthier, to get it to where it is. One silk press can cause the damage. One bad protective style, one rough day when you're handling the hair, one bad product using on the hair, so many different things that can affect the hair in just one go if you're not careful. So my advice to you is okay to slack off. I slack off a lot and I reap the rewards. I don't expect to reap any differently, but it's not too far. Like when I slack off, it's not like before. when I never used to take care of my hair. It's like just a little bit off. So I know that, my hair is going to be dry because this week I did not moisturize it. I know when I go to moisturize my hair, I definitely have to give the whole works. I know I have to wash my hair, deep condition my hair, do a nice moisturize and seal my hair, then do a protective style for a while and keep doing that. I have to play catch up for it. And that's okay, we're humans, that happen. But we have to make this thing a lifestyle practice in order to reap a long-term result or the results that we really want. It can't be that we want. A lot of person, when I talk to them, I get the feeling, and this is what they say to me. They want a product, their hair won't grow. They want me to give them an oil or a product to put on their scalp or to use in the hair to make it grow. It's different when you understand that it's actually a mindset. It's not just the products. Yes, the products are good for stimulating, but how much growth you think you can stimulate and keep if you don't change the habits that you have when it comes on to handling your hair, when it comes on to dealing with your hair. You're just growing it to break it off. That's pretty much it. And that's why the person, oh, this product don't work. It's not that it's not working most of the time. Yes, sometimes they don't work, but most of the time it's just the habits that we have that cause us not to reap the benefits of whatever products that we're using. And that's just pretty much it. That's just pretty much it. There we go. That's awesome, Tineto. Can you guys see and hear me clearly? Please let me know. That's awesome, Just Jenny. Let me check and see why is it blurry at this point in time, guys. Just a moment. Is it any better now? Can you guys see clearly now? I see where you guys are saying that it's blurry. It's the same. Just a moment. Let me fix that for you. Is it still blurry? Can you guys see clearly now? Right, so that's what grandma has been doing for her hair. She has been consistent. I believe I start doing her hair like a little bit over 3 years now. Is it like that? Maybe like 3 years. I'm trying to remember. When did we start with your hair? I think we started a little bit over 3 years. That was in 2019. So we started in 2019 with her hair. At the time, she had relaxer on her hair and she wanted to grow it out. Sorry about that, guys. My tripod is not behaving the way it should. Right, so I met grandma in 2019 when I went to pick up one of my certificates for my work at her business place. And I saw that she had natural hair, like she was transitioning rather. And we had a conversation. She was surprised when I told her she didn't need to put in extensions in her hair to transition. And she was, surprised because the hairdresser that did her hair and has been working on her hair with the transition told her that in order for her to actually grow it out, that, you know, she needed extensions. So I was saying, no, I don't work with extension, and I've transitioned so many persons without it. She didn't like the extensions because, you know, it was too heavy on her hair or probably too tight, and she just didn't like it. So I started doing her hair for her without the extensions, and that's how we hit it off. And since then her hair has grown so much, so healthy, and so long. If you guys remember, if you guys have been following me from the start, you would have remember when we started, when I started to make videos. We started before that, but then I started to make videos on her hair growth. You'll see the length compared to now, the length that it is. It has grown so much since then. Thanks, guys.
That's TikTok.
No, it's YouTube.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So her journey has been so amazing. Oh, I forgot that I wanted to flat twist the front, not cornrows. I got distracted for a minute. Alright, so let me just finish it off in flat twist. 2-strand flat twist, that is. How long have you guys been on your hair growth journey? Indeed so, guys. My hair growth journey has also come a far way. So Gretchen is asking what's good for itchy scalp. Do you know why your scalp itch? Gretchen, outside of that, usually the cause of itchy scalp varies, but I can give you things that may soothe the scalp and may help the scalp to not itch so much. But you definitely need to find out what caused your scalp to itch. Is it that you have a scalp bacteria, or you have eczema, or your scalp is dry, or if there are fungus or anything like that? In the meantime, aloe vera is really good for itchy scalp. When you wash your hair, use aloe vera directly on your scalp. It will help to kill scalp bacteria. It will help to soothe the skin and create a healthier skin. Keep the hair and the scalp moisturized as well. Also, you can try neem oil. It does the same thing. Coconut oil does the same thing on your scalp. Also, drink a lot of water. Try not to put products directly on your scalp for a while. Just keep the hair clean and the scalp clean, and try not to put too much products, especially heavy creams and butter. Just moisturize your hair and keep your scalp free of products for a while. Hi Betty, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, and thanks to the 67 person that gave us a thumbs up so far. You guys are super duper awesome. You guys are so amazing. Any other question that you guys want to ask? Of course, related to your hair. We're taking hair questions. Let me bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing right here. Hi Ruth. So Ruth is saying, I just got on. How has grandma been able to grow her hair? She has a very simple hair growth regimen, Ruth. Thanks for joining, by the way. Did you give us a thumbs up when you came on, Ruth? Okay, so while you're doing that, in case you did not, let me tell you, grandma has a very simple hair growth regimen. She keeps her hair moisturized at home by using castor oil. That's black Jamaican castor oil, the real deal, and water, right? And she protects her hair at night by sleeping in a satin bonnet or a silk scarf. Outside of that, I do her hair like protective style, either twists, braids, plaits, whatever it is. She has changes sometimes, but I do her protective styles for her. She keep them in for at least a month to 6 weeks. While she has in her protective style, she moisturizes it at home. When she comes back to me, I take down her hair, or we take down the hair together, and then I wash the hair, deep condition the hair, and each time I deep treat her hair, I use a different treatment, and that's totally based on the needs of her hair at the time. The treatments that I decide to use based on how her hair feels, how it looks, and whatnot. From a professional standpoint, I'll treat her hair. Outside of that, I can tell you the main treatments that I usually use on her hair. They're mostly DIYs that I made myself, and there are other professional brands that I do use on her hair for that purpose when I need to. But I can share those in my DIY playlist. You can check those out. So I wash her hair, treat her hair. Afterwards, I take my time and I detangle her hair. This is most important because we generally break the hair off during this time. You want to make sure when you're detangling your hair, you're super gentle. I mostly do finger detangling first, and then after I use a white tooth comb to go through the hair afterwards. And like I said, I'm super careful not to break her hair off during that time. Once I finger detangle and detangle with the white tooth comb, I rinse the product out, moisturize her hair with my DIY shea butter recipe or my mango butter recipe, whichever one I have on hand, or whichever one I feel like using at the particular time. And then I may or may not use a heat protectant in addition to that. Why I say may or may not, it depends on how her hair feel and the previous treatment that I did before blow dry. For example, if I give her a protein treatment and I use my shea butter recipe, I don't need to spray her hair with a heat shield. Her hair is already protected because the leave-in treatment that I do has heat protectant in it. The ingredients are natural heat protectants. The protein forms a barrier over her hair shaft as well, and that helps to protect it. But if I just give her like a moisture treatment or a reconstruction treatment, I go inside, or dehydration, what should I say, a rehydration treatment, I'd go in afterwards with a heat protectant along with my moisturizer that I had before. And I blow dry her hair. Like every time she comes, we do a blow dryer. And I safely do that because there's a safe way to add heat to the hair, but I do not recommend it for everybody. Depends on your porosity, you can do it. If you have high porosity, stay far away from the heat. And if you do like blow dry hair once or twice for the hair, make sure that it is thoroughly protected. You do your protein treatment, you use a very good heat protectant, and you don't put too much heat on it. You do most of the tension method to keep it stretched, and then you go in with your heat, and you can get your trimmer, whatever purpose you do the heat for at the time, right? And then I just style it up just the same way you're seeing me handling her hair now. That's how I handle her hair every time. I take my time, I do her protective style, and she keeps it in for another month or 6 weeks or 2 months. Well, she never really kept it for 2 months, but I'm just saying it depends on how long you're able to keep your hair. Well, ensuring that your scalp is clean, ensuring that everything is okay with your hair while you're wearing a protective style. And that's pretty much it. Hi, Carlette. That's awesome, Charlotte. Hi, Carloine. Hi, John. Welcome to the live stream. Hello. She's off on a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
No, please.
Call her.
Alright.
All right. Right, so she keep a very simple regimen. She doesn't do much to her hair while she's at home. And I can't overly emphasize that. Leave your hair alone. If you want great results, if you want your hair to grow, stop manipulating your hair so much. Do make sure it's moisturized. Do make sure it's protected at night by sleeping in your satin or silk bonnet, or whatever. If you use silk or satin pillowcases, whatever you do to protect your hair, make sure that's happening. And then outside of that, do your protective style. Try not to constantly be doing different style and touching your hair. Just leave the hair alone. I know some person's gonna say, how else are we supposed to enjoy the hair? If you're trying to retain length, like if you have a goal, for example, when my hair roll was waist length, all I did to my hair was braids. I just plait my hair, or I just leave it like that for a month, 2 months, 3 months sometimes. Just because that's the goal I had in mind. The moment my hair got to waist length, that was no longer my goal. Yes, I want to keep it at waist length, and so I took care of it just the same. But I had hair to play around with. I tried different styles, still protective styles, but styles that wouldn't necessarily last as long as the braids. But they were cute styles, different things. I was playing in my hair more because I had reached the goal, and now I know what to do to get it back to that, should in case anything should happen, and I now know how to maintain it. So when you have a goal, it's just like weight loss again. I can't overly emphasize this. If my weight loss goal is 50 pounds, I am going to go as hard as I can until I hit 50 pounds down, until I lose that 50 pounds. Once I lose that 50 pounds, I'm not going to go so hard anymore, because now all I have to do is maintain the fact that I lost 50 pounds. I know I have to maintain that. I don't necessarily want to lose anymore. And so it is with your hair. If you have a goal in mind, you're going to do everything to get that goal. Once you have gotten the goal, you're not just going to slack off, but you're not going to be working as hard as you usually do. You're just trying to maintain it, and that time you can enjoy all the length that you want, because that was the goal in mind. Now I do so many different type of protective styles on my hair, still protecting it, but they may not last as long as the month or 2 months or 3 months of protective styling that I usually do. Bye, Marilyn. Hi, say hi to Jackie for me. I am in the Cayman Islands. Winno. I'm trying to pronounce your name. Is that Winona? I'm in the Cayman Islands. That's where I am. Alright, so you can have a little fun with your hair once you have reached your goal. Grandma, say hi, Marilyn. Yes, she will definitely have shrinkage. Her hair is not going to stay this elongated. She'll definitely have a lot of shrinkage because of humidity and other factors. Natural hair is supposed to shrink. That's the nature of her hair. She doesn't worry about the shrinkage so much, because when your hair gets very long and it shrinks, it still looks really long just the same. I tell my clients, if you grow your hair to your butt or to your ankle, when it shrinks, it's gonna be in the like bra strap length or mid back length. It's still gonna look very long. So don't worry about the shrinkage. Just grow it as long as you can. Hi, Deborah. No, Deborah. Once. Okay. So once the follicles are scarred or damaged, there's no way to get them back. There's no way to get hair growing back from those follicles once they're scarred. So scar tissue, there's no way it can grow back hair through them. But once they're still there and they're still active, we definitely can stimulate the hair to grow back. Well, of course, that depends on how long they have been dormant for. Hi, Anavik. Good afternoon to you. You're welcome, Deborah. And thanks to the 91 person that gave us a thumbs up so far. You guys are super duper awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you have any more questions, go ahead because I'm almost done, and you know very soon I'm going to be ending this live stream. So if you have any more question about your hair growth journey, about your natural hair, or any question here related, you can go ahead and ask your question. Good afternoon, Anna. I like that too. And I say good afternoon, Samantha and classmates. Oh, goodness. So Peterson is asking, what are the best products to use if you're transitioning and not cutting hair? Okay, so when it comes to transitioning hair, it's a little bit tricky because now you have two textures to deal with. Like when you first start transitioning, it won't be so hard, but until the hair gets to like 2 inches in its growth, then you realize it's gonna become difficult. Well, it depends on the texture you have again. That's simply because of the two texture that you have to deal with. One is straight, obviously, and one is coily or curly because, you know, your natural hair is curly or coily. And that's where the problem is. Because I frequently find that most of the products that people use on relax hair to moisturize, hydrate, and to treat relaxed hair doesn't necessarily always work for natural hair and vice versa. Because of the ingredients and the needs of the hair, it is different. So I find that for persons that have relaxed hair, it's best to keep with the relaxer products that you use, not relaxing the hair of course, but keep with the same products that you were using until you have transitioned into your hair to around 4 inches or say 2 to 3 inches, and then you can start using natural hair products. What that will do is really help in maintaining the relaxed portion of your hair. However, when your hair gets a 2 inch natural or 3 or 4 inches natural, the texture different if you still don't decide to do a big chop is going to pose a big problem. And now you definitely need natural hair products to really soften that natural texture. It may make your relaxer a little harder or a little bit different, but by that time you won't be probably worried about chopping it off little by little anyways. But you definitely need moisturizer. Focus on different moisturizer, natural hair moisturizer for the natural texture. You want to focus on natural hair masks and deep conditioners at that time to soften the natural texture and to cater for the natural texture. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky, but I recommend during that phase, once you reach a certain length in terms of the hair growth and transitioning, to do a lot of protective style. That way you don't have to deal with the two textures, and that way it grows out quicker as well without having much breakage of the relaxer of the hair. The less you manipulate at that time will be actually better for you. So whatever products you use on your relaxer currently, depends on how much growth you have for natural hair, continue to use them. And then you can transition into using the natural hair products. So we're done. So let's look what her hair looks like in her protective style. This is what it looks like. So this is what we did. Our hair already starts shrinking, guys, but we don't mind shrinkage. We actually like shrinkage. Shrinkage show that the hair is healthy. Thanks for coming to keep my company. If you have any more questions, guys, don't be afraid to drop them in the comment section. I'll definitely go through. Marilyn and myself will go through and we'll try to respond as best as possible to help you on your hair growth journey. Until next time, guys, remember, Jesus love you, so be very good. Also, later on this week, I'll definitely post how I safely blow dry her hair and aids in length retention. So don't forget to turn on your notification bell to all, so that when I do post that video and other videos, you'll definitely get notified. Until next time, guys. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye. Boy, I threw a big stone at people in school. I threw a